Bioluminescence is the emission of what from living organisms?
Light.
Of the following, which is not a unit of energy? A quarton, a joule, or a kilocalorie?
The first one.
What board game was developed from a spelling game with wooden tiles called crisscross?
Scrabble.
What sport was originally known as water ballet?
Pass.
When grabbed by a predator, which part of its body might a skink get rid of?
Tail.
What sport was originally known as water ballet?
Pass.
Time. Nick, how do you feel about that?
Okay.
All right. Very laid back.
Yeah.
What do you do for a living, Nick?
I'm a mechanical engineer.
Okay. So you're probably naturally pretty laid back in most cases. Most engineers are pretty even-keeled.
We certainly try to be.
Hold on. Design something awesome while we're away, okay?
Okay.
All right. Alex will make his way in.
Maybe like a fire suppression system that works.
Yeah. That goes off when there's an actual fire. All right, Hot Wings.
All right.
Nick is in the books. He doesn't know how many he got right, or maybe he does, I guess, but
Okay.
we don't tell him.
All right.
Your turn begins in 3, 2, 1. Bioluminescence is the emission of what from living organisms?
Light.
Of the following, which is not a unit of energy? A quarton, a joule, a kilocalorie?
A quarton.
Which board game was developed from a spelling game with wooden tiles called crisscross?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Which board game was developed from a spelling game with wooden tiles called crisscross?
Scrabble.
Which sport was originally known as water ballet?
Synchronized swimming.
When grabbed by a predator, which part of its body might a skink get rid of?
Its tail.
Time. All right, Nick. Let's see how you did. Hot Wings 2. Bioluminescence is the emission of what from living organisms? Hot Wings said light. As did Nick. You are both correct and tied at 1. Of the following, which is not a unit of energy? A quarton, a joule, a kilocalorie? Hot Wings said a quarton. Nick said the first one, which is quarton. And that is correct. Tied at 2. I looked up what a quarton was. But do I remember? No, I do not. A mild form of malaria causing a fever that recurs every 3rd day.
That sounds awful.
That sounds terrible.
What I would have guessed it would have been at all.
Better than every second day, I guess.
What board game was developed from a spelling game with wooden tiles called crisscross? Hot Wings said Scrabble. Nick said Scrabble. That is correct. We're tied at 3. When grabbed by a predator, which part of its body might a skink get rid of? Hot Wings said tail. Nick said tail.
Oh, boy.
That is correct again, and we're tied at 4. Going to the last question for $600. What sport was originally known as water ballet? Hot Wings said synchronized swimming. Nick did not answer. If Hot Wings is correct, he wins. If not, it goes to the scoreboard, or it goes to the clocks for a winner. The sport that was originally known as water ballet is synchronized swimming. Hot Wings is the winner.
I pulled it out. From Nick, the ice fisherman from Elk River, Minnesota. I'm sorry, but you are a little dumber than me.
Had it gone to time, there's a difference of 3 seconds.
Would Hot Wings have won that?
He would have.
He would have.
Oh.
But that's close.
Yeah, I
It
wasn't
is.
sure. I knew re-asking that Scrabble question.
Nick, thank you for playing. Thank you for listening. We appreciate it all these years.
Thank you. I love the show, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you.
man.
Thank you, man.